Good morning, everybody, again. This is the panel we are talking about digital transformation, building new technologies, structures, and all the stuff digital transformation comes with. So, good morning again. I'd like to welcome the experts today. We have the sponsor of this panel this morning. This is the Expereo, and Sandra Barnes is with us here. Good morning. Then we have Igor Skutsenia. He's online with us. He is, I have noticed, fraud management system project manager.
That is correct. Hello.
Hello, and RCS team leader as well at Lang Telecom.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Then Christoph is here with us. Christoph,
good morning.
He is CEO at Engzu. Then Sunil, he is, for him it's not morning, for him it's already in the afternoon. Sunil is joining us from India, and he is the regional director of IoT at AT&T.
Thank you for inviting me.
Good morning. And then we have Finn Kornbo, executive director, product and solution management, digital wholesale at CSG International. Good morning.
Good morning, all. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I'd like to welcome you to share your insights, your knowledge, your expertise, and your vision, probably, whatever you would like to share with us. So my name is Birgit Schönborn. I'm the moderator of this panel this morning. I'm a computer scientist and in the industry for 25 years. And first question is, I wonder, when did we start to talk about digital transformation? When did we change the word to not technology, but call it transformation? And do you remember? And probably I hand over the first question to you to share with us your presentation and tell us, what did you do in all these years and what did you do in the last year? So what is your...
Well, let me start with my presentation.
Sure.
Good morning, everyone here in the room and online. Thank you for joining us today. It's the last day, it's Friday. There was a great party last night. So everybody online, I do recommend coming over next year. It's great to meet up with all our friends and partners here at Carrier Community. Today's Friday morning topic, digital transformation. I want to zoom in on a part of that in this keynote. It's called the digital workplace. And the first question that Birgit came with is, so when did we change the name? Well, funny enough, I do start with a little timeline. If I look at roughly 20 years ago, right, and I looked at how enterprises were setting up their networks. 20 years ago, we moved away roughly from frame relay, so old technology, into MPLS, private backbone technology, where we are able to share applications, data across a private network. It was a very exciting time because we were moving away from kind of point-to-points to a mesh network. And the funny thing is, if I look at where we are today with digital transformation and digital workplace, we're at such an exciting moment again in history of telecommunications. For me, it's not a question of, are you going to go over and adopt the new digital workplace? It's a question of when. And so in the traditional network setup, you had your application sitting somewhere within your main data centers, usually also at your headquarters. And it was all hosted with on your own service. And this is where we see now the big change coming. So yeah, to answer your question, Birgit, somewhere between 20 years ago and now, we did go from one name to the other one. Don't want to keep talking about the pandemic, but the one thing that the pandemic does do for us is the notion of being able to work from everywhere. Something that was really hard to really get into the heads of most of the CIOs, CTOs, and network managers, but forced by the lockdowns, we've seen now that it works. And the digital workplace is not working from home; it's working from anywhere, and this is going to have a major impact on your entire infrastructure suite, but also the choice of applications that you need in order to make this work for you. We already have the staff and we have the people. We now need to make sure that they can all seamlessly work with each other and that they have a way not to work with each other, but also with their partners, vendors, customers, and get the productivity high and get that that customer experience high as well. So for this, you're going to need some tools. And what kind of tools do you need, and how you're going to break that down? Well, it doesn't happen by magic. As a matter of fact, I probably have to say it's a little bit more complex than most people think it is, right? You really have to do your planning properly and see what is fit for purpose for you, your application choice, and how you want your teams to work with each other. You have to look at your infrastructure, the right connectivity. Going to have to look at your security, and if you adopt SD-WAN, that already has inherently the security in it. It builds IPsec tunnels. However, that is not enough. So you're going to also have to look at how you can further secure your environment. We see some great new technologies coming to market now, like SASE, and that gives you even more flexibility on how you can put that whole suite together. But don't forget your connectivity portfolio itself as well, right? The internet is a very large animal to attack, and you're going to have to make the right choices there so that that the applications work well for you, and that therefore you have happy users, and happy users lead to great productivity. And you need to be able to keep control. How do I, as a manager, understand the productivity of my staff now that they are no longer sitting with me in the office? So also there you need to think about how you can create a suite of insight in order to get that productivity high. Like I said, is this going to happen? Yes. And I'm not the only one that says that. Clearly, the experts in the market see that the whole adoption of SaaS and cloud and SASE, this is where the market is really leading to. And we're helping enterprises now on their digital journey to adopt the digital workplace and help them with the infrastructure and the security suites that they need to do so. Well, as Expereo, to zoom in a little bit more into ourselves as well, we have looked into, okay, so if you look at the chain that you require in order to adopt the digital workplace and get the right applications working for you, we're starting at the edge. This is really where the user sits. This is not just a site anymore. This can be anywhere where the user wants to work from. For this, you need to have a fit for purpose connectivity suite, which goes way beyond your traditional access line that you used to connect your offices. We also, if you have traveling users, how can I get them on a properly managed and a controllable mobile connectivity solution? So that, again, doesn't matter where they work from, it is also fine. Public Wi-Fi, clearly part of that as well. It's a shared access, and there especially security comes to mind. How do I secure that particular environment? And then your cloud services selection. It sounds like the cloud is one big happy global solution. It's getting close to it, but also the cloud sits in data centers. So how are these data centers connected to the internet? What can I do in order to optimize that to get the best possible performance for my users? If you listen to, especially in the beginning, to the SD-WAN vendors, it almost sounds like magic. You all have heard themes like zero touch deployment or little touch deployment. It's true, once all infrastructure is in place and the engineers have installed the box or the socket or whatever the SD-WAN vendor calls it on site, then yes, because of the orchestration layers, the actual configuration work is little touch, because you've already done the work sits in the cloud, and then it gets deployed to your SD-WAN devices. But we see that there's still a lot of requirements to get the smart hands on site. Somebody to help you put it all together, install it inside, and be there just in case it doesn't work. So we offer that as well. We do this on a global scale, and we also take care of the logistics. So how do I get the boxes on site? That is tricky as well, especially if you go to the more hard to reach places. And this is usually where also either resources are or where resources are cheap. And this is where we can really help with. Well, what we're about to launch, so this is new, and you will see us make more noise about this over the next months. As Expereo, we have what we call our cloud acceleration services. This is software that is monitoring every destination on Earth and can route across the internet performance-based wise. So we're looking at the performance to each destination, and then we can overwrite BGP in order to get the best performance across the public internet. We're using this as the base now, effectively to build an entire backbone across the public internet in a secure way, so that as an enterprise, you can really migrate fully away from your MPLS solution and use the internet with its great reach there where it is required. Or if you still need that performance aspect between your locations, we now have a solution that is the same and quite often outperforms the MPLS networks that you have seen. So I'm very excited about this one. At the edges of this network, effectively at our POPs or hubs as we call them now, we also have the Sd1 Gateways. So this is where we can seamlessly integrate with your Sd1 solution, pull it into our network, and then break it out again on the other side where you require it. So this is super exciting. So watch this space. In order to help our customers, and I yesterday at the awards, we touched upon this a little bit already. I'm very excited to announce that over the last 30 months, we've done 4 acquisitions. And this is all to bring us to where we are today and enable us to really bring that whole suite of connectivity, security, SD-WAN together for the enterprises and our channel partners. And this is a combination of intelligence platforms. And we work together with a lot of partners around the world, thousands of them, to make sure that that works seamlessly and that we can all interconnect well. When we acquired ComSafe, they had a intelligence platform that really helped us to further leverage that automation there with our supplier base. The global internet and the Brodent acquisitions really helps us to put a leading position in the whole internet access space. That we have enough volume to really continue to serve our customers with the right partners. And to help our customers further with the SD-WAN, Fidens IT was an expert in delivering and managing SD-WAN services for multinationals. So we're extremely happy that they joined the Expereo family. And this really helps us also to further expand our SD-WAN capability globally. So all of this we're bringing together into a single view. Because this is, when I talked about earlier, as a manager, how do I understand the performance of my staff? You need to have all of these things coming together into a single view. Is it working for me? Is it fit for purpose? And for that, we have developed Expereo.1. And this helps the IT manager at our customers to keep this global overview and see what on the connectivity, application, and security layers, how they all work with each other and whether you get the right services for the money that you're spending. But all the cloud, all the security, you still need your connectivity globally as well. So please do think about us when you start that digital transformation journey. And with that, I want to close it for today. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Sander. Yeah, thank you, Sander, so much for sharing this with us. And yeah, so you said security comes to mind in the middle of your text. You realized security is one of the topics. So I'd like to address this to Igor. Fraud management systems became one of the most important things for you last year, in the last years, and the next years to come. So you're in.
That is. Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for Expereo and companies like to make it possible for us to work at home and work from anywhere. This is very necessary, but we just can imagine what it would be like if the same thing happened 10 years ago without the technology on that level, et cetera, et cetera. And obviously, we're happy to be the part of change that took place to making the world more accessible, more digital, and a lot easier to communicate without having to travel anywhere. With FMS, we've made lots of progress. I mean, obviously, there's been some changes in voice and SMS traffic structure. We don't have as much roaming as we used to have. But I would say that the market didn't become smaller by any means. And sadly, we had fraud cases to encounter. And I would say that we made a lot of progress with technology in our results. We more than tripled the amount of partners that use our fraud management system. And we also launched a full-scale spin-off company that is providing an anti-fraud validation. And we think that this is a very, very large step in terms of countering any kind of telecommunication fraud out there. Very much very large step, and we expect a lot from these two products of ours.
Thank you. Very interesting. So, Christoph, security, connectivity, working from everywhere, and you found one of these new business models. Would you like to share with us what you found and how do you manage to roll that to the customers right now, and what happened to you last year?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So just to tell you a few words about what Enexo is doing. So we provide, we are kind of one-stop shop BSS provider for mid-size connectivity providers for data carriers. And what we provide is both, software, then integration services, then telco consulting, and managed services. So last year, it was very interesting for us and very successful. So I want to thank all the customers, prospects. The word, in telecommunications got excited again. So we have lots of work, and the projects worth mentioning is something we did with Nexera. So we worked with them since a couple of years, delivering BSS, OSS, zero touch, and they are actually first in Poland FTTH wholesale access provider. So we did an open APIs for them based on Metro Ethernet Forum LSO Sonata specification. So thanks to those APIs, they can seamlessly, easily, and quickly actually connect with other partners. So they already connected with a number of larger vendors like UPC, T-Mobile, discussing now with Orange. And we also provided for them, for their smaller partners who cannot afford building the open APIs because it is an investment. So we also provided a portal that can go in there, import the locations, and get quickly the information about serviceability. Then the quotes, then come with ordering services, and get it done in a matter of, if not minutes, it's hours, but it's done in the zero touch sort of environment. And another example, which is worth mentioning, is extending our partner network. So actually meaning extending our services, thanks to integrated with last mile pricing providers, last mile exchange, and connect to fiber. So that gives an incredible opportunity for our customers to get their services up and running in minutes, thanks to ready-to-use integration using our BSS solution.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Sunil, you are regional director of IT of IoT at AT&T, and IoT is for all these devices that in the last mile that tell me things about my life I never know that I have to know them. Now, when we have them, we can't imagine not to have them anymore. So would you like to share with us what IoT does for us, and what did it do with the last COVID year? So is there anything you want to share with us from your point of view?
Sure. So since the whole theme of the session is about digital transformation, and IoT is a key constituent of any digital transformation solution, right? And what we've seen over the last 18 to 20 months, ever since the pandemic hit us, is that the IoT adoption actually increased. In fact, as per a report by a consulting company called Omdia, there was a 7% growth in IoT services last year in terms of adoption. And what we've seen last year is adoption increase across various industries. And it's going to take me a while to explain that, but I'm trying to condense that in 2 to 3 minutes. Just look at manufacturing. We started to see a lot more adoption of IoT, especially when it comes to remote operations. Given that people working from home, you need to remotely monitor your industrial assets in the factory, products on the field. So thanks to IoT, that was very much possible. Supply chains got very badly disrupted last year. We've seen a lot more digitization and digitalization of supply chains. over the last 18 to 20 months, and that is only going to increase going forward. What was also very interesting is how many of these IoT startups, how quickly they made the pivot in terms of offering many solutions which are very contextual for COVID, because with people coming back to the offices, the use of technology to monitor people's health, IoT enabled thermal guns where you can monitor the temperature of people coming in without human intervention, leveraging CCTV cameras, camera as a video sensor to measure and to check whether people are adhering to social distancing guidelines. IoT enabled smart badges, again, to make sure that people are maintaining social distancing, right? So very interesting to see how the startups came to the party in terms of how to, provide IoT solutions, especially when it came to employee health and safety. And especially in the area of health, we started to see a lot more adoption of smart wearables, right? That adoption picked up big time. And other important thing, and this is the last use case which I just wanted to share, the COVID-19 vaccine. And India, produces a number of different types of vaccines, and there are 3 different brands of COVID-19 vaccines which India were making over the last 1 year, and we have already have about 650 million people who have been administered the vaccine today. And all these vaccines have to be maintained at a temperature, right, between 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. And IoT came in handy here in terms of monitoring the temperature of all these vaccines as they moved from the factory to the nearest public healthcare centers and to the distribution centers. So in a number of ways, we've seen IoT adoption pick up over the last 18 to 20 months, and this is only going to get increased going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So we see how this all fits together from infrastructure to solutions to IoT sensors. Finn, I looked at your portfolio of your company and it's listed alphabetically. That's an amazing list of products. So your site starts with a sentence, the only constant is change. What do you tell your customers where to start, what to do first?
Yeah, thanks, Birgit. And yes, the only constant is change. I think that probably is, in my view, the most important part of what we talk about here today: digital transformation. We need to be prepared for an agile environment where things are not standing still. Our customers are not standing still. We need to continuously, be set up for agile development. The way we do that in CSG is often engaging in a DevOps sort of type of environment with our customers, so we can constantly innovate and enhance the offerings that our customers put into the market. So what is the market that we serve in CSG? It's the wholesale carriers and operators, but primarily the digital wholesale portfolio that I look after in CSG. And I think it's really important that we have that attitude of being open-minded. I like to sort of point out six parts that I think are important for digital transformation. And number one would be have a strategy. Establish a coherent vision of what it means to be digital to the customer and to the customer's customer, as we talk about here in wholesale. I think it's important that we strive for the ultimate customer experience. So we sit down and define and deliver a consistent digital experience across any of the platforms and channels we use towards our customers. And that we aim for, increasingly increase the operational efficiency. And we must do that, via, of course, take use of the great technology out there to drive automation and application integration into the environment. I think another point that we spend a lot of time in engaging with customers is on the digital insights. So embrace the digital customers into collecting the data, collecting data from customers and their behaviors, and focus on customer centricity. And then utilize this knowledge to enhance the business processes and strategies, but also to better understand the customers by making more informed decisions. And I know we're going to talk more about that, Birgit, so I'll leave it there. I will say also the product and the service itself has to be obviously an important point to really review the digital services for the wholesale customers and how to monetize them, and be aware that this goes beyond just selling, connectivity, as we're talking about here, is digital transformation must consider also how you sell and what to sell. And last but not least, I just want to mention the cultural aspect. I think when we talk digital transformation, it's easy to forget that we also need to see a cultural change, and we cannot survive without the right company culture. So yeah, that would be my 6 points that I think we need to bring to the discussion table.
So what is the right culture? And how important is data? So how do we use all these data? What is about KI? How important is that for you, for your customers right now? How do you get organized all these different data from whatever they come from your own company, in your own company, from customers, from everywhere? So we ourselves had to get organized with all this stuff. We have solutions for our customers. Are we ready ourselves already? So how about?
Let me start with that one, because we're working together for Expereo's digital transformation with Annexo. And part of being successful and offer a lot of that automation and a better experience to both our partners as well as our customers has to do with proper data. Mm-hmm. So a very large portion of the activities that we're doing today has to do with the cleanup of data and making sure that the data is consistent across the entire journey that we need to support. And that is quite often overlooked. When you look at
we talked about we talked about clean up the data
exactly.
2 years ago in a panel, and that was
remember
the main
CCO, Chief Cleanup Officer.
That was the main conclusion. Clean up your data. So we are still on the way,
and that's,
to do that.
That's still an ongoing journey.
Yeah.
So, and I think that that also we see that it creates some new roles within the organization. People that really look at data and make sure that the data continues to be consistent. Mm-hmm. You can only do so much with systems itself, right? You don't want to make it too rigid anymore that people can't work either. So it's a combination of people, process, and what can you do with the system. But you're going to have to monitor that to make sure that that it works well. If I look at the different customers that we have in our diversified go-to-market, and we're talking about wholesale primarily here, our wholesale customers, clearly they create a lot of volume. So we need to make sure that that volume, that they can handle that properly, which is a different requirement than our enterprise, where if you're an IT manager, it's more about the holistic view that you want to have of your entire network. And yet the data models in the background need to be able to support both. So for us, there's a great focus there. And when we talk with our customers, be it wholesale or enterprise, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, there's no real just volume wholesale anymore, right? Also within the wholesale partners, you need to deliver a lot of value, because at the end of the day, there's the enterprise behind it, and they need to represent that value to the enterprise. So, so we're trying to really put that all together, but data needs to be clean.
Igor, how about the data?
I mean, first, of course, data is very important, and the way you treat it, and just like Finn just underlined a couple of minutes ago, the culture is very important as well. And combining using the right data, gathering the right data, and having the right culture and having right attitude towards it is very important as well. You must have internal and external culture that would be able to accept changes and to adapt, and to make better progress with the products that you're working with. And obviously, it's very important to maintain external culture, when the customers would instantly know, like, we're very proud to say that our customers know us as a reliable partner, as a partner that brings a lot of value, that puts quality as a top priority. And this external culture makes it a lot easier to provide more value to existing and new customers when you have new and existing products. So about gathering data, obviously it's very important to gather the needs of external customers, new or existing ones, and just to understand what needs do they have now and what needs do they have, will they have in the future. And basically this is very much reflected in the products that we have. For example, our fraud management system is a thing that is value being provided by kind of existed product to existing clients, but we were able to make it possible for the customers to have an easy way to integrate it and easy way to use it. Obviously, we've introduced another fraud management product as AB Handshake is a spin-off company. And it was a lot easier for us because we had the right attitude and we had the right team to make sure that it's possible to realize the vision and the need of our customers into the product and to be able to give it to a wide variety of current and future partners. And obviously, when you're working towards new markets, for example, like if you're primarily wholesale, at some point you would like to go to the enterprise market. And it would require some changes on your side to present the product in slightly different way, addressing slightly different concerns of your prospective customers, and obviously explore new ventures, new needs, new products that could be of interest in that. So we had all these with enterprise customers. We've introduced the communication platform that enables them to use our service. I mean, we have the product, the communication product. We just needed to add kind of like a nice wrapper to it so that the enterprise customers would have an easier time using it. And we also introduced new products to enterprise customers. And we're very, very happy of the reaction that we have in the market. There were a couple of instances when we would have a communication with a new enterprise customer, and we would introduce the array of our products. Hey, you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this with these, and these products. And then we would introduce a new product, completely new product that, you know, it seems unrelated about that. And the managers of our prospective clients would say, look, your conventional products are doing very well. We're very interested, but what are we talking about that new stuff that you were just talking about? And that would be a wonderful moment. It's a wonderful chance to introduce more value to our newer and existing partners. And we highly encourage other companies to do the same thing, not only stopping on the existing strengths, but also to venture out and master new needs and new products out there.
So Finn, leveraging data, changing the culture, finding new business models, where do you find them? A lot of data, and there's somewhere inside is a new business model. What to do to find it?
Yeah, you know, Birgit, I think, you know, data is really everything, you know, and I think being a SaaS company that is, you know, that have delivered SaaS solutions to customers for actually long before the SaaS term was even invented, I think we understand and we know how the importance of SaaS, and we you know, going to a SaaS model also means that you have your data in a single place. You can much better connect it to a customer data platform, a CDP, to collect the data, use the data, analyze the data, so you can actually use that to leverage, you know, your position in the market and find out how to get to new business models and new opportunities in the market and improve the customer experience, which at the end of the day, the customer is going to pay the bill, right? So I think that is in essence why we're doing this and why we are so you know, excited about you know, diving deep into data analysis. I'll just give you a few concrete examples, right? In the wholesale, in the trading business, how, you know, we help customers as well to gain more from more value. And that's, for example, in analyzing things like the trading flows of traffic. You know, which traffic streams do I get from where and from whom? So can I pick this traffic up closer to the source and maybe bypass an expensive hub? Or what about the price fluctuations when we issue new pricing in the market? How does that impact my, you know, my success, my revenue? Basically, is my volume going up? Is it going or not? For example, there's no need to change, you know, if the price is going up, if you can increase price but keep the volume, then of course, no, you know, that's a good thing. And putting those things together at a very granular level to understand the price sensitivity is key to be successful. So yeah, I think there are many examples, Birgit, for why, and we could go on for a long time, but I'll probably pass it back to you here.
Thank you, Finn. So Sunil, with IoT, you are at the source of all these data, collecting them, looking at them, doing things with them. Any risks?
Yeah, there is always that risk. So obviously security becomes very important in terms of how do you secure the data, right? But just coming to the point of data and how important data is, it is a strategic asset for any organization, right? There is this cliche which says that data is the new oil, but obviously it has to be refined so that you can get better insights from the data so that you can take better decisions. And what is very interesting is how companies and here I wanted to give example of manufacturing companies, how they're leveraging data to innovate around their business models, leveraging IoT and AI. And very quickly, I just wanted to give you an example of a company in India which makes water purifiers, and the traditional method of selling water purifiers is for someone to order it online or go to a nearest store and pick up a water purifier, paying a one-time cost. And what they've done is they've innovated around their business model. They made that water purifier completely IoT enabled, where a consumer like me, we get that water purifier for free. We don't pay any cost for it, but there is a flow sensor inside that water purifier which monitors the flow of the water, how much of water I consume. And so what I do is I actually pay based on consumption. So they call it water as a service, right? So I pay based on the water that I consume. So very interesting how a company which makes water purifier has become a water utility. That is one. Number two, because they're monitoring the health of that water purifier in real time, even before I would know, the manufacturer would know that there's a problem with that with the water purifier. And based on the insights they get, they actually tell me that there might be a problem with the water purifier. Maybe the power supply has gone bad or the filter has gone bad. I'm going to send someone to replace it. Kind of takes customer experience to a new level altogether, right? So at the end of the day, you want to use all these insights to improve customer experience, right? So I think data will obviously play a big part there. And there are enough and more examples of companies now wanting now to leverage data to innovate around the business models to improve customer experience, leveraging the power of AI and IoT.
Thank you, very interesting. Thank you. So you already started kind of looking into the future. So that would be the third question to all of you. Looking into the future, where are going from here to what is coming next? Where do all these business models lead to? And Sander, when we meet again in 2022, what do we have learned until then?
Well, I think the journey that we're on will continue. I think what you see here is that if you really want to go into a digital journey, you can't do it by yourself. It requires the different companies, different applications, skill sets, an ecosystem that needs to come together. I think where we're accelerating greatly now is how we work with each other. And this is because of digitalization. To go to Sunil's example of the water purifiers, those IoT sensors, they rely heavily on the mobile networks. But we all know that the mobile network doesn't have the same strength everywhere around the country. Different MNOs, different mobile networks. So how do you make sure that you still have a seamless experience as a water purifier? You're not a network expert. So you can see that from the infrastructure layer all the way up to the customer experience, there are different skill sets that you require. And I think the really exciting thing is that all of this starts to come together now, and digitalization between the vendors, but also between us and our customers, is the accelerator there. And cool. So we'll see more progress. Yeah.
Christoph, your advice for being successful?
Yeah, to say that in a couple of words, it's a bit difficult, but it all starts with customer experience. So, and then to provide the proper customer experience, you need to start with fundamentals. So we believe that part of those fundamentals is the proper, BSS or SS system that can not only store the data, but can liberate the data so it can speak to yourself internally. You can use it properly. It can speak, to your partners. So, you can enrich your products and services with the power of your partners. Then you can speak to your customers. So you can expose it to them. You can let them take decisions and react quickly as they want through the channel that they want. And maybe the last thing, which is equally important, is if you want to be successful, transformation is not about just one step or one project or even a number of projects. This is a continual journey, and you need to start experimenting with new products and services, measure that, observe, and take informed decisions after a number of experiments, and adjust to the market, come with new products, new services, and that will be super important. So much quicker reaction on everything.
Quicker reaction to everything. Igor, would you like to share your personal crystal ball view for the next months, for the next year?
Sure, with pleasure. I totally agree with what was said previously about the changes, introducing new value, and we think that we're in a very right path on that. Our product AB Handshake, we think that it's gonna go just leaps and bounds in the coming months and years. We have very high hope for it, and the work that we also do with mobile application, introducing new services and enhancing our existing ones with authentication and international voice, international SMS. We expect a lot from these as well. We think that we have the right attitude. We have the opportunity to grow, and we think that we're going to bring a lot of value. So we're at the beginning of a very bright period of our company.
So Sunil, what comes next? Do you have another story for us?
Right, so I'll just sum it up in a single sentence that today we are living in a connected world. In the next few years, we'll probably move from connected products to intelligent products. Because AI is going to get more democratized, right? So products will become more intelligent, and then the next phase would be autonomous. Where the human intervention will be far lesser. Products will be able to report about their problems directly without people intervening. So we're going to see that journey evolve over the next 5 to 7 years, in my view. Connected, intelligent, and autonomous.
And Finn, what's your strategy for the next years, and what should we be aware of? Probably some notes on the risks.
Yeah, I think, I agree with everything that's being said, and Sunil's remarks around IoT, absolutely subscribe to that view. In CSG, we have a pretty aggressive strategy for the next couple of years, and I'd like to share some of the elements of what we believe is important to obtain success. We touched upon some of them, but maybe just sort of sum them up here. I think, having a game-changing innovation in the way you think about product and services, aiming for the ultimate SaaS model, and make sure you can then get the data of that model so you can drive intelligent decisions about how you get to the next level, to the next offer that you can put in the market ahead of anyone else. I think you need to aim for diversification on your revenue streams and consider other verticals. I think that's a great opportunity for telco in general. We're so focused on our own little world, but I think if you think about it, everyone needs what we do in the telco world. So let's think about other verticals all the time, bring that into our mix. We need then to invest in people, in culture, like we talked about, and in DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think last but not least, maybe we haven't talked too much about it, but put your customer and your customer's customer first, because that works.
Thank you very much. So that was the perfect last sentence. Put your customer first. Perfect. So tidy up your data, collaboration, not only with the customer, with vendors, with partners that are just in the same market, probably even that. Collaboration, and start with a strategy. You said, don't miss the culture. Put your customer first. Thank you very much. Thank you, Expereo, for being the sponsor of this panel. And thank you all for participating. And thank you to the audience. The 12 people watching us live right now. So thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you, Birgit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.